from San Francisco Ferry Terminal. I'm Jane, and today we are joined by Vivek Rao. Welcome, Vivek.
Jane, great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you for the past week. It has been quite an interesting week for me.
I'm delighted to hear that. We've loved hosting you here at University of California, Haas School of Business.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Vivek is a lecturer of the startup program. Can you tell us a little bit more about your background, please?
Absolutely, yeah. So I've been teaching, this is going to be my 5th year teaching at the Haas School of Business.
Wow.
And I teach a range of classes, but this program is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So it's the 4th iteration of, and the program is called Bay Area Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Investing. And so in the course, we really put together an experiential learning basis for students to come in from around the world, like you, Jane, from Vancouver
right.
and
Sydney, actually.
That's right. Excuse me, Sydney, and even farther away.
Yeah.
And colleagues as you've met from around the world, from Bangalore, from Oxford, etc. Yeah. We really use some experiential learning to kind of apply and share out some of the key principles, mindsets, tool sets, and skill sets that underpin the Bay Area innovation ecosystem and the tools that go into creating exciting and successful startup ventures, to making and scaling successful investments in new ventures, and to developing exciting new products, services, and systems that solve meaningful and real problems for people. And so those 3 pieces inform our work throughout the week, in which we start out with theoretical foundations for the first 2 days, and then we spend the next couple days really immersed in the ecosystem. So we like to think, my colleague Dave Sharon and I, that the first couple days are about giving the students the tools and to analyze and understand and create, and then we go out and use those tools to immerse ourselves into the ecosystem. So in fact, we're speaking now, we just got back from a visit to Cloudflare, a major enterprise security firm based here in the Bay Area. This embodies the story of scaling up from a small operation to a company who delivers services that you've probably used 100 times today already. Right?
Yeah, that I have no idea about. So it's amazing. So your background is in engineering, and then you went on to be a founder yourself. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey there and what you've learned and how that has contributed to getting you here?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is in pure engineering. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering. In between my time in academia, I worked at global innovation consultancy IDEO, which was an early pioneer in applying the tools of design to solve challenges of business. And so what I really took away from that experience was a deep understanding for the customer and people, and really taking the time to understand the problem that's to be solved, right?
Yep.
Alongside taking some of the engineering skill sets that I had and putting those together in ways that could make an impact on business. So for example, like prototyping and experimentation. Normally I would have thought of that as being something you do in the lab. Through that experience, that really helped me think about, well, wow, how can we use that same type of thinking around testing, experimenting, and scaling that we might use for a engineered system and apply that to problems in business and organizations. So I did have it was an almost startup. We received some federal funding here in the US to explore some technology I developed during my PhD.
What was it? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so it was a nanotechnology platform that used sunlight to basically recycle wastewater. And so the vision was we were trying to enter the market for building scale water reuse. And so this was, I was really motivated by sustainability, and the water is a huge issue here in California. It is in Australia as well. And so, we were really motivated by that, and went through a whole customer discovery process. At early stage, we had a patent on the technology in the lab, and spoke to about almost 100 different customers and stakeholders and partners, and eventually decided by the end of that customer discovery phase, and after we had exhausted that initial block of funding, that this wasn't a business that we thought could scale on a timeline that any of the founding team was excited about. So we decided to sunset that, and that patent is licensed to the university to do basically it's open if someone wants to engage with it. But that really taught me a couple things, which is first that you can have the coolest technology in the world, but finding that ability to deliver real value for a customer is so important first. Second, that it's not even enough to find a customer pain that you're willing to solve. It's like, are people willing to pay for it on a timeline and at a scale that's going to make a viable business, right? Second. And then third, that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say like, hey, this isn't working, let's move on, right? And that's one of the things that I have really grown as being a part of the Bay Area ecosystem around, is that that tolerance for failure and that willingness to accept something that might look like failure, which is our startup didn't launch, and view that as, hey, this is a life experience that shaped me and that gave me the opportunity to work with students like you.
Yeah, and it looked really cool. It was like a marble-looking water element in its containers, right?
Yeah. Right. So right. I showed you guys a photo of that on the first day. Yeah, that was a super early prototype. Eventually, we moved to a little bit less aesthetically appealing design, but the underlying technology was the same. Yeah.
Wow. And how long did it take you from ideation to finally deciding, okay, let's wrap it up? That was a great experience. Let's move on.
Yeah, I would say it took about. Probably almost 2 years total. But after we entered intensive customer discovery, I would say it was a 6 month from when we really started, engaging with customers and having those tough conversations. That pointed us relatively quickly towards the decision. Yeah.
And you met with 100 people during those 6 months?
Yeah. So I mean, it was some phone calls, some video calls, but a lot of in-person visits as well. So over the course of almost 6 months, we had that tempo of having those conversations.
Yeah. How did you make sure that your questioning wasn't as biased and a little bit more balanced?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is actually part of a program that has been mentioned during our week here, which is called the National Science Foundation I-Corps program. So there's a framework. It basically is a program to help early stage science-based startups to develop commercialization plans. So we were selected among that particular year to explore that. And so I think there's a curriculum around helping you develop questions, but I really drew on my experience previously at IDEO and doing design work around really letting the interviewee do all the talking, right? I don't want to go in there and say, hey, do you want this technology? The right answer is yes, right? So there was a lot of, and I'll freely admit there were a lot of interviews that I probably completely screwed up because I biased them or didn't leave enough room for that.
So if someone wanted to test their idea, what would be the best question to start with?
Yeah, I would really start with just understanding the pain points of the customer in their words. So I might ask you, Jane, like, what is, talk me through. Let's say we were trying to design a better scooter experience. So it's a rack of electric scooters over there. You might say, tell me about the last time that you rented an electric scooter. Talk me through, what your experience was like. Or I might even zoom further out. Be like, tell me about the last time that, you had a short commute in the city. And how did you get about? It's like, oh, you took the bus. Why did you take the bus? What are the options you think about? Let's walk through all the steps of what it was like when you were on the bus. And really try to get a big picture understanding for their relationship to the task or the problem that we're trying to address, and then start to maybe drill in to say like, oh, what have you thought about this, or like, we have this particular prototype or idea. I'd love your feedback.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And how far into the production design did you go with that particular project? Were you able to successfully convert the water itself? Did you drink the water?
We did not drink the water.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it ended up only working for gray water, not wastewater.
Okay.
And we didn't. We had basically laboratory scale results, but not nothing that would pass muster with the Department of Public Health.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that was also part of it. I think is that when you're doing things like medical devices, water infrastructure, there's the margin for error is very low, right? And so I think that having a repeatable, scalable, secure system was going to be something to really keep in mind for that sector.
Yeah, perfect. And you've recently moved out of the Bay Area. Do you miss this area?
Yeah, so I still feel like I live here. It's been a month, so just adjusting. But I definitely the area is very special and brings a lot of really fascinating viewpoints, fascinating history, natural beauty together, and I think that a lot of that affords a mindset around thinking about problems, understanding problems, and solving them that it's been certainly inspiring to me personally.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, Vivek, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure, and you have this really upbeat energy and presence around you. So thank you for always delivering each and every day with high energy, high intensity, and with a smile. So thank you.
Thank you, Jane. I appreciate you joining us here at Berkeley and in the Bay Area, and look forward to being in touch.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to press the subscribe button so that the next video will go straight to your box. See you next time.